Spring football is finally here in Tallahassee. Let's go, baby. They're about to get it going. They got the pads out already. Mike Norvell and company, they mean business this year. I mean, they've meant business for the last couple of years, but now the Death Star is fully operational, and we got to unpack what we're hearing around spring ball right now. Now, listen, War Chant, our Florida State on 3 site, they do the best job out of anybody in this whole gosh darn industry covering this program. So get a membership there. I got more thoughts on Florida State as a whole, but they're going to keep a ton of intel for you over there. Make sure you're locked in. So through spring practice, it is no surprise that Jordan Travis and Johnny Wilson picking up right where they left off in the Cheez-It Bowl. It sounds like the two have connected multiple times during practice, 4 touchdowns. Again, more intel over there at War Chant for more specifics. The overarching picture is they look good. And the reason why that should be encouraging for you as a Florida State fan is not just because Jordan Travis is out here balling like you knew he would. It's not just that Johnny Wilson is still 14 feet tall and making catches over little dudes, making it look easy. We knew those things would be realities when it came to the fall. Okay, we knew that was going to be a factor. The fact they have chemistry, picking up where they left off against Oklahoma, that makes me feel good. Even more so, this offense needs to be what pushes them over the edge. There's other facets of this team, obviously, that have to come into play. When I look at Florida State, though, they averaged right around 35 points a game last season. That's really good. That's top 20 in the country. My personal belief is we're going to need just a little bit more offensively. Not because they don't have it offensively. In fact, the opposite reason, because they do have the potential offensively to be right around 40 points a game. I think that's kind of the magic number. You look at the Tennessees, the Ohio States, those teams that make the college football playoff. That's kind of the area they live in. And Tennessee to make the college football playoff. So you hear what I'm saying. In that mix, I think those elite offenses, that's going to be where you want to be if you're Florida State. So the fact these two are rocking and rolling right now, it's a very good sign. It's a very good sign for the good folks in Tallahassee. Chemistry, you can't teach it. Either got it or you don't. Johnny Wilson and Jordan Travis, from last season to winter conditioning, or after winter conditioning, I should say, when you're out there throwing the rock around, putting in the timing to get those reps feeling like second nature, they've done that. They're paying the dividends during spring football. It's not breaking news, but that's why I think it's a big deal. I've said it before, I'll say it again, 40 points a game-ish is where I think they need to live to achieve their goals of making the college football playoff and winning the ACC. Jaheen Bell is hitting the ground running. More on that in a second. Go ahead and subscribe to this channel. A lot of people say that. Full transparency, it helps us know what you like. So when you're subscribed, we have more intel as to the kind of stuff that you're watching, and we can then produce that kind of content that you like to see. So that's a big favor. We appreciate you. Also, follow me on Instagram and on Twitter at JD Pickell. Thank you so much. All right, Jaheen Bell, transfer from South Carolina. Rocking and rolling. It sounds like he is looking the best of the tight end group, and you knew that he was a guy. Again, this isn't breaking news that Jaheen Bell is really good at football. We knew that. But the reason why this is encouraging to me is he is a true tight end, it sounds like, or repping as a true tight end, and we hadn't seen him do a ton of that at South Carolina. Now, credit South Carolina, they're saying, all right, Jaheen Bell's a dog. We got to make sure we feed him. Let's put him at running back. We're thinning the running back room. Give it to one of your best players. No easier way to do that than do it, giving him a handoff. That's great. We'll rock with that. Or put him out in the slot. So the fact that he is looking so solid as a true tight end, it just gives me more encouragement that he is as flexible as advertised. That was another thing that I said. I'm talking to people close to Florida State. These transfers, especially Jaheen Bell, is as advertised. Everything you thought you were getting with him when he came from South Carolina, he's made good on so far through a few practices in the spring. Going to be just another weapon for this offense. Johnny Wilson, Micah Pittman, Jaheen Bell. If you're a defensive coordinator, are you covering all of them? Let's not kid ourselves. Having a 3-headed monster in the receiving core like those dudes, especially Johnny Wilson and Jaheen Bell with their size, you can't match up with it, dude. You can't teach big. Jaheen Bell is big. He's playing well as a true tight end. This is based on the drills. I'm just saying it's a good sign. Okay? Now, staying in that theme of transfers, Darrell Jackson from Miami, about 6'5", 326 pounds. It's looking good, man. They've got a lot of great intel over there on War Chant, like I said. They've got more anecdotal intel for you in terms of what he did during reps. The bottom line, he's making his presence felt, is the way they're wording that. That's a really good sign, because think about what happened last year for Florida State. Injury bug, man. Everyone's got to deal with it. Florida State didn't apply enough injury bug spray apparently going into the season. They got pretty thin at the defensive line in terms of guys that were 100% healthy. They had guys play through injury, but guys that were 100% healthy, they weren't necessarily just lining up in Tallahassee. So Darrell Jackson having such a positive impact thus far in the spring and being able to wreak havoc with his 6'5", 326-pound frame, it's a big dude. And we all know this. Teams that play for what Florida State wants to play for this season, again, college football playoff, winning the ACC. I got more thoughts on that in terms of, the ultimate long-term goals. I got thoughts on that. But the teams that do that, what do they have? Explosive to tough offense, yes. Also, they're super tough in the front. They're super tough in the front when it comes to the defensive side of the ball. Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State for the majority of the season outside of the Michigan game, they were tough in that front seven. So to have more depth in that area, to now go with Fabian Lovett, to go with a Jared Verse, that's a very good sign for Florida State. The way that they're building things, the way they're building this foundation of this 2023 football team. I'd be fired up from a Nole fan, man. I'm just saying, that would fire me up. So this is not a new conversation for the Florida State community, but I want to make sure we have it one more time. This is all encouraging because you're building towards something in 2023. And when I say building towards something, I mean you're building towards some jewelry. Who's the leader in the ACC right now? Who is it? Is it Clemson? Drake May's back at North Carolina? Who is it? It feels to me like it's pretty wide open. It feels to me like a school like Florida State has built for a year like this. You've taken the lumps. We had Mike Norvell on the show. He came and talked to us about building at Florida State, just focusing on the internal, worrying about the external, or rather not worrying about the external because the internal kind of takes care of that. They've built that internally now to get to the point this year, then go compete for an ACC title. I'll keep it a buck, man. You win the ACC, I feel pretty good about your chances to make the college football playoff. Now, you probably need to be undefeated or have one loss, but you look at their schedule, there's no reason why they can't do that. Got an absolute battle lined up the first week of the season against LSU. Nick Brake and I, who knows, might be there. We'll see what happens, but so far, so good through a couple practices. Spring football, man, let's go, boys. Let's go. Got the pads back on, knocked some schools. You love to see that. You love to see that. Nick Brake, Lifting Heavy, this is your show. We appreciate y'all again. Helps us if you subscribe. Would love to have you a part of this community. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Twitter, @JudyPiquel. Let's go, baby. Love y'all. We're going to keep the party rolling. We will see y'all next time. Hey, y'all. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe to the channel here to make sure you don't miss an episode of The Hard Count. Also, be sure to check out other videos on the On3 YouTube channel.